What are the biggest myths of real estate as a major?
Oh, you study real estate, you're going to become a real estate agent. We cover a lot of different things. We do law, we do economics, we do urban planning, all the different stuff. Between engineering, I was considering physics as well, applied physics. I thought to myself, do I really want to do more physics and math? And real estate sounded like profitable and there was a prospect around it. A lot of us would probably identify as business rejects. A lot of things we do cover in the course is very businessy.
So throughout those years, right, do you then start to develop some purpose and passion for it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
100%, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Youth Tea Party, the show where we spill the tea on all things youth. We are not a political party and have no interest in running for office. University Major Series. Today I want to talk about real estate. Singapore is always undergoing construction. I guess that means that real estate is booming, right? I don't know. Maybe that is the worst logical statement I've ever made in my life, but I guess that's why I have Gibson here to talk about these things today. Hello Gibson, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How about you?
I am not too bad now that you are here joining us. You just graduated, right?
Yep, that's right.
From real estate in NUS.
That's right, yeah.
So real estate, right, is quite interesting lah. When I look at the Department of Statistics, right, for Singapore in 2022, look at the number of university graduates for that year, right? 2022 because that's the latest year that we can get from the internet.
Okay.
So far, the 2023 one haven't come out yet. Yeah. 13,255 graduates, right? First is business and administration, about 29%. Second is engineering sciences, about 19%. So I was quite surprised to find out that real estate only 3%. I genuinely, I mean, this is my own ignorance. I genuinely thought that real estate was like, more popular lah, right? Yeah, but so I want to talk about these things today lah. Talk about some of the myths of real estate as a major. Talk about what career prospects real estate majors might have. But before that, I want to get to know you a little bit better first.
Okay.
Yeah, I always get my guests to share random things. Yeah, can you share one piece of TMI with us? Completely random TMI.
Very random TMI.
Yeah.
As of the day of filming today, it's actually my birthday today.
Ah, really?
Yeah,
oh my goodness. Why you never say? I don't say no.
No, it's okay. It
Wow,
was like on the way.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Wow, oh really?
It is.
Wow,
It
okay,
is.
then I say. Wait, hopefully you're celebrating tonight.
I am. Yeah. Family.
Okay. So we are very honored lah. I really didn't know it was your birthday. Thank you. Like that means a lot to us. Genuinely. Okay, one thing I noticed about you, right? Very interestingly, right? So I noticed that you always carry headphones around. Yeah, tell us about it. Like, why?
I mean, personally, I just kind of really love music. And I feel, especially in NUS, you kind of like are like kind of buried in a sea of people, right? And then sometimes you can get a little bit lonely. And then having the headphones around just kind of allows you to immerse in your own bubble, in your own world. And I do love music personally, so having that kind of like just comforts me a little. And yeah, it gives me a sense of peace, I guess.
What kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to all kinds of music, but mostly pop, K-pop, pop, rock, a little.
So it's like whatever you feel on the day, you just listen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about real estate. I'm always super intrigued, right? When people study a major that didn't exist in secondary school or like JC. Like there's no real estate in JC, right? So can you just tell me a little bit more about how you got into real estate? What was the thought process like?
I mean, a lot of majors don't really exist in JC, right?
That's true.
A lot of things that's offered in uni, you have like, psych,
Yeah.
or even engineering. You don't really kind of go into details of specifically engineering. It's mostly just the foundation, like physics, math, stuff. So a lot of courses aren't really offered in JC, but then you guys, I guess when you graduate, you guys slowly kind of go into like explore your current options given your grades. And then for me, how I discovered real estate was actually in army. Because, guys have the privilege of like 2 years in the army, and then you get to slowly consider the different options that you have.
Privilege, or not bad. You're very optimistic. Very good.
I really think it's a privilege because you get 3 years of application.
That's true lah.
Because if we're just looking at my first year of applications, I wouldn't be where I am today. Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't be in NUS.
But wait, so you are saying that year on year the standards change lah, is it?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got in your second time round or what?
I got in my third time round, I believe.
Oh, okay. But you already applied for real estate from the start?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I only got to know real estate later on.
Oh, okay. So what do you apply in the first instance?
It was there's this course in SIT called telematics. It's more about a little bit of engineering and a little bit of city planning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but you've always been like a more math and science kind of person.
I have always been more.
Oh,
yeah,
I see. Okay, so then tell me about real estate. How did that come about?
So I met this friend in army, and then like he was just we did kind of get like similar grades, and then we lived in the same bunk, so we talked like almost every day. Yeah. So he introduced me to this course. Then he was like, real estate is not bad. Like given our prospects, yeah. So
how did he know? Because you're at the same life stage, right?
Yeah. I guess he did more research than me.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So what did he say about real estate that was good?
Honestly, if I didn't do the best in A levels.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
neither did I. Don't worry.
My options were really, really limited.
Okay, fair.
So it was like either between engineering, I was considering physics as well, applied physics, and then it was real estate. And then I thought to myself, do I really want to do more physics and math? I feel like O levels I did pretty okay. Okay. And then when I went to A levels, it was like, it was a huge dip.
Banga.
Yeah, it was a huge dip. And then I was like, shit, maybe that's enough for physics and math for me.
Fair.
Then I wanted to try something new. And real estate sounded like profitable and there was a prospects around it. And then it seemed fun as well. Like looking at the different modules that were offered in the course, it seemed something I'll be interested in. So dived into it.
What's the ratio of guys and girls in real estate?
Oh, good question. I would say maybe 65% girls.
65% girls?
Girls.
Oh, I thought it would be the other way around.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I didn't know that.
It's pretty even lah.
Okay. That's quite even. That's quite even.
But like in my group of friends, 7 of us, 5 of them are girls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe just popular girls.
No. Most cliques have more girls.
Oh.
Yeah, most cliques have more girls.
Oh, that's really quite interesting. So you said something along the lines of profitable, right, just now. For me, someone who doesn't know anything about real estate, right, as a major, right, what are the biggest myths of real estate as a major? So for example, people say, you study English, you'll be English teacher, this kind of thing, right? Cannot be real estate agent, right? That's the biggest myth, really.
Yeah, for sure.
Really, yeah.
No, I think it's very common sense for anyone to just like, you study real estate, you're gonna become real estate agent.
Yeah.
It's the most common question I face, like be it my relatives, my extended family, or even just when I meet my long-term friends, like we meet like once a year, then like, you study real estate, then you're gonna be which real estate agency you're gonna join? Okay. Yeah, long.
Also, that's really the biggest myth.
It is the biggest myth because it's not entirely true, because I feel like the graduates that actually go into real estate agencies are maybe like 10, 20.
Not that much, right, actually?
Not that much.
So then from your own experience, your seniors or your friends and everything, right? Like what other kinds of jobs do they get into?
Okay, I would broadly classify the real estate prospects into the finance sector, as well as the public sector.
Okay.
Just very, very broadly. We do cover a lot of different modules in real estate.
Yeah.
I would say what's special about our course is we don't go very deep into each module, but we cover a lot of different things. We do law, we do economics, we do, urban planning, all the different stuff. But it's not very in-depth.
Oh, so like broad lah.
Yeah, it's very broad.
Okay.
But does that mean like, because you study law, you can go into law? I don't think so. So because of that, I would just like generally classify our prospects into urban planning in the public sector and the finance sector. Because a lot of emphasis is placed on the finance modules.
I see.
We do have like one specialization, which is finance. So
you're pretty good at numbers and all that stuff,
if you choose to be.
Okay.
Because it's a specialization. You can opt for like just the normal courses, more urban planning related, which is kind of what I did.
So the urban planning related stuff, is it more like technical or is it like more theoretical?
I would say more technical, because like one of the modules that I just took this sem is like a policy evaluation. So it's, you guys, you really go in depth into the type of policies for maybe a little bit of different countries and then see what you can pluck from the different policies.
I see. Okay, so really in a way, quite world ready in a sense, whereby you go out there, then, if you are working in like say URA or some urban planning things, you kind of understand how processes work in that sense
Quite, but not nearly enough, I would say. Especially for the finance side of things. I think there's a lot of room for improvements. I feel but that's my personal opinion.
as in like you say not nearly enough, meaning you're saying not offered enough in the major
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but I mean, I guess every major has its flaws and limitations I think that's fine you know. So we looked at the statistics just now, right? And only 3% of majors graduating in 2022, right, were from real estate. Genuinely, I'm quite shocked. I don't know. Are you shocked?
I actually am not that shocked because
really? Okay.
I think NUS is the only university that offers real estate as a major.
Yeah.
And then you said the first two were like biz admin. Biz admin is offered across every single uni that you know.
No, that's true Yeah.
Engineering sciences is the second. It's everywhere. You can find it in every uni.
That's true
Real estate, I think besides NUS, SMU has like a specialization, but that's about it. It's not really a major. Yeah.
So what do real estate majors generally think of their own degree?
Ooh.
Okay, I just give you an example, right? Sometimes computer science, right, is now the most popular major in Singapore, right? You got a lot of people join, right? Of course, there'll be people who love computer science, but there'll be people who just join for the sake of joining, right? Because kanchong right? I need to join something that can give me a good job, right?
Yeah.
But then they hate it.
Yep.
Then when they hate it, right, then they just feel like shit every day. I don't know what vibe do you get in real estate among your friends? Like, are people like proud of their major, or are they frustrated? What kind of vibe was there?
Oh, there's no frustration, but there's no sense of pride, I would say.
Okay.
It's more like we're comfortable where we are.
Neutral, comfortable.
We are neutral. We enjoy the process because real estate, I would say, it's a pretty chill course. Like we have a lot of free time as compared to computer science students that you just mentioned. Yeah. Or like even architecture students, they live in their studios. They don't they have to stay overnight in the studios. But for us, we get a lot of free time. After classes, we just go watch movies, we go eat. Assignments are like fine. Okay. Yeah, it's not intense.
I'm actually quite surprised to hear you say that. Not because of real estate, but because I think nowadays, right, it's so normal for youth to
be stressed.
To be stressed and to make a mountain of a molehill. Like, my life sucks. My degree is so bad. I'm very surprised for you to say that. So I guess that means that you kind of have quite a positive attitude towards
I do.
your learning. Yeah, that's good.
But I guess to make up for like the sense of amount of free time that we have, I guess real estate can be a little bit competitive in a sense where we have to find a lot of internships. Especially if you foresee yourself going into the finance industry, because that side of field is kind of very, very competitive in a sense where your competition is with the first percent, like you mentioned, the biz students. A lot of people are vying for a spot in like the private equity side of things, because ultimately finance sector is the lucrative sector in Singapore. Yeah.
But when you are a real estate major and you're saying go to finance side, right? Are you looking to go into like property and development, but the finance side of things, or like pure finance?
It will definitely be real estate related. So something that a lot of us are looking forward to is the private equity side.
I see.
So private equity is more of real estate investments.
I see.
Particularly.
I see. Yeah. I think that's a very big market, especially in Singapore. Okay.
I think just now you mentioned like one of the greatest myths of real estate, right? I guess it's very easy for everyone to think of like HDBs when you think of real estate, right? Residential real estate. But real estate is so much more than that, right? It's more than residential. There's commercial, there's office, there's industrial. So every sector is kind of like a whole different ball game. And it's all very different. And more than just the buildings, there's also like the land. So it's really a lot of different things and that most people don't kind of think about.
Well, I think NUS Real Estate need to pay you money. Such a good spokesperson for them.
No.
Not bad. Pretty good. So far, you've been talking about real estate. Like, it's a pretty good thing. I think that's great, right? But of course, people are always very pragmatic, right? Need to think about jobs and everything. So we were talking a little bit about going to the finance sector, and you were saying something about you moving towards urban planning, right? A bit of your inclination is there. Just tell me a little bit about your current situation, right? So you just graduated. What do you want to do? You want to go and chill first, What are you looking at? What's your process like so far?
Oh, okay. So I just came back from my grad trip. So I guess in the chill aspect, I'm already done with that.
That's fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm searching for a job. I have attended some job interviews.
Yeah.
Both sides, urban planning and the finance sector.
Okay.
Waiting for replies. I have more interviews as well. So yeah, it's lining up, I would say, and hopefully I get my next one, I guess, because I don't really want to go for more interviews anymore. Because it's
how many interviews would you have gone for if, let's say, you get one of the jobs now that you are applying for in total? Aga.
Actually, not that many lah, but at least 3.
Okay lah, 3 okay lah.
I can think of.
3 is okay lah.
3 is okay. It's not
actually, I want to ask something that I'm really confused, not confused but curious about, right? Is that urban planning, right? A lot of people think that Singapore, right, urban planning, right, there's only one place to go, which is URA. That's not true, right?
I would say JTC have also.
Yeah, no. So it's not true, right? There are other places, right?
There are other places, but I would say they are mostly in the public sector.
Oh, okay, but even public sector is only URA lah. There's anywhere else?
JTC is kind of public also, ma.
Actually, is Sabana Jurong,
I guess so. I guess that's considered.
Yeah. I think have lah. I mean, I'm trying to think of. And then I think even how about the developers?
Developers?
Yeah.
I don't know if they are considered under urban planning or not, because they have, I would say private sector has more financy inclinations. They are like profit driven and everything.
Okay. More profit driven.
Yeah, it's very different from what you would think about when you say urban planning.
Okay. But then developers don't have their in-house, like, okay, maybe they work with architects or they don't have like in-house planners, or this also don't have. It's usually work with government.
I think because for Singapore at least, there's a lot of different markers, a lot of different rules and regulations about that developments in
the state presence is very strong.
Yeah. So it's hard for them to have like in-house and just like rely on that entirely.
I see. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Okay. Let's talk about NUS Real Estate, right? Your process of learning and studying. How is the community in general? You spoke about your friends just now, your clique, but in general, the cohort, how is it like?
Oh, I feel like, okay, I don't know about other courses, but for real estate specifically, our cohort is about 160 for one batch.
Yeah.
So we have like quite a variety of different personalities lah, I would say. Of course, I speak for maybe like the majority in the middle, where, you know, we are kind of we just do, that sounds bad, but we kind of do what we have to. But we are not bad group mates per se. We do our jobs.
You're professional lah, basically.
Yeah. We do what we have to.
Yeah.
There are like the exceptional people where they're really good and they like, you know, they're outspoken in classes, they answer profs questions, they ask questions.
Yeah.
There's always that kind of group of people in every course that you go to.
That's true.
But I think one thing about NUS Real Estate, not very nice thing to say, but there are a lot of phantoms. Phantoms are in the sense that they don't even do the bare minimum. So I would say, because maybe for NUS Real Estate, I wouldn't say the majority of us come by passion. So we don't come into this course because we have been looking forward to all academic life. We've been like, I want to go into NUS Real Estate. No, it's really more of a last resort kind of thing. Yeah. So a lot of us actually use the degree as a stepping stone into the working world. Even myself, a little, I would say, because I didn't think I was going to go into this course. Like I mentioned earlier, it was only like later into my army years that I realized, this was an option for me, and then I went for it. It wasn't like because I was passionate about real estate all my life. Yeah.
But I would say don't sell yourself short lah, because you know you say like that, right? It makes you appear like, you know, you don't care, but actually it's not that. No, I don't think it's not that you don't care. I think if you think about it, right, how many people in the world are truly like passionate from day one about something they study? A lot of people. So for example, right, say geography, right, right. A lot of people also they think they are passionate about geography. They go into the course and then they realize that actually geography is not what they thought it was, and then they learn how they either then quit and leave, or they learn how to find a different kind of passion in it. So I think actually most courses are like that. Same one. You join science, you join engineering. I don't think anyone from the start say, "Oh my god, I love engineering." Nobody, ma. You slowly go there, then you find your passion, ma. There will always be that few people, lah. Most of us, let's be fair to ourselves, we start to find that passion for real estate law, right?
Yeah.
So I think you are being very honest and very pragmatic in saying that, which I think most people would appreciate and understand.
Yeah.
But I'm more curious, so throughout those years, right, the 4 years that you were there, do you then start to develop some purpose and passion for it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about that process.
I would say maybe in the first couple of years, especially in real estate, we cover a broad modules like I said, we cover a broad topics.
Yeah.
And then when we did reach like the urban planning, it was an entirely new field. Like you said, we don't learn this in JC at all. So when we first kind of got into it, we looked into the development plans from like way early in the 1950s, like by even before HDB was developed. So all these different like historical planning side of things, it was very new, very interesting. And then slowly, most of us, I would say for most real estate students, we generally lean towards urban planning at the start because it is that interesting. And then like slowly when you go into your senior years, maybe like you see how job opportunities lean more towards the finance sector. It's more lucrative, it's more sexy. That's where like people start to deviate from like, their original interest. And so I would definitely say I developed a passion for real estate.
Yeah, and I think that's really, it's very honest law. And I think most of us go through the same process. If you ask me, is that process of learning and finding yourself also, right? Like finding your own passion in relation to the major, but also then your own value in relation to the kind of job that you can do in future, right? Yeah, so I think that's really interesting. So you said most of y'all start with like urban planning, then you'll get exposed to finance, and but so how come you remain in urban planning? I mean, you also apply for finance but you say that you are quite inclined towards urban planning, right?
Yeah. So I think given my experiences, I have, I'm privileged enough to say I've interned in both sides of the field. So recently I interned in a finance company, real estate private equity. And then I kind of saw the culture It's very, very different, I would say. I was lucky enough because I was an intern, so I wasn't dumped a lot of work. But I could see how the full-timers work. And because it's an investment company, you have like overseas investors and it's like real money we're dealing with, people's money. So it was a bit more intense.
High stakes.
More international, which means longer working hours, which means like, you have to come, I don't know, it's less flexible in a lot of sense . And most importantly, I would say the school doesn't prepare us enough for the working field. I would say. So there's a steeper learning curve when you step into the industry. So I guess that can be a little intimidating for some of us. Yeah.
So when you say it doesn't prepare you for a working role, right? So ideally, right, what would you like to have or learn that you think will prepare you for the working role?
I think for real estate finance side, I think financial modeling is a very basic foundation that we need to step into the working field. That I would say as much as we are kind of like exposed to, because usually it's covered in a group project. So maybe like a few of us does that side of thing because the projects are like so huge, right? You need to cover so many different aspects. Not everyone can be working on the modeling side of things. So maybe a couple of them gets exposed to it. They get a little bit of practice and then they maybe are better at it. Maybe they like it, maybe they don't. And then for the most people that don't expose themselves to it, then like, they fall short in terms of this experience. And you don't really get this experience outside of class because when can you get like a case study on like, develop this site and like propose something, then do a model on it to see how profitable it can be. You can't find these questions online. So I would say this experience really matter in preparing you for the working world.
Okay, so financial modeling, I think that's a really good example. So you all don't have like a course on financial modeling?
They give you the foundations, they teach you the basics.
Okay. But you're saying that learning in theory and really applying it is different.
Yeah, for sure.
I see. So you would like more opportunities to apply it. I see. And when you went in the internship, you got opportunities to apply something?
Because most of them already have the model laid out. You don't get to build it from scratch.
Okay.
Which makes sense because it's a huge chore to build it from scratch.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, and they don't really task the interns to, do something that important. They will mostly, at least for my experience, it was more about like doing up the pitch slides, the pitch decks, and more of the administrative duties. The numbers are already there. You just plug it into the documents.
I see.
Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, right? So you said, okay, you want to learn more financial modeling. Are you saying you want to learn how to build models, or you say you want to? But if you say the models already there, why need to build?
I mean, when you become a full-timer, it's a different thing, ma. You are expected to know this.
Okay.
And then of course, there'll be times when you have to, because internship is just like a 3 months, 4 months in a job. You don't see it every day, but because for investment side of things, there's different timeline, I would say, is broken down into very few different parts. So there's like, if it's an open-end fund, then there's like the period where you have to take open-end fund is like open for investors to pitch in their money throughout the whole investment period. But for a closed-end fund, for example, they have a specific time period where investors can pitch their money in. So that part is more intensive in the sense where you have to constantly pitch to investors your fund and all the different assets. Then that period of time, then you don't really do much modeling per se. But then when you have the assets confirmed, and then like throughout the development time frame, and then you have to do all the modeling stuff, that's when the different job scope comes in.
Oh, I see. So did you have a favorite course or module in real estate?
Favorite course or module?
Yeah.
Besides, like does it have to be from real estate?
I mean, we can talk about real estate first.
Because I feel like real estate first, it'll probably be urban planning. So 2701.
Okay.
It was taught by this prof called Prof. Stephen Chu. What was interesting about it was, like I mentioned, we were first exposed to the different development plans.
Yeah.
Historically speaking, there was a lot of new things for us to see, and then I guess it was just a lot of new things for us to understand. And then, as in a lot of students wouldn't agree with me that it was the most interesting module because it was very intense. Yeah, so there were a lot of projects in the whole module. So most people didn't really like it because it was too xiong. Yeah.
Is this a core course? Must take one. Everyone must take one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I liked about it was the debate. The debate is something very unique that I don't think any other course have offered so far.
Okay. As in debate, as an assignment, debate or what?
It's like a project law.
Okay.
So 2 groups, then they debate. They have a topic, then they debate.
So you have a lot of groups, then you all like pit against each other.
Yeah. You have a stand, and like you prepare your points, and then you
But okay, give us an example of like what do you all debate?
So my topic was actually about participatory planning.
Okay.
And then whether it's tokenistic or not.
I see. So do you think participatory planning is tokenistic?
I think it. I think we try to employ like participatory planning, but then it's hard for it to be not tokenistic because people's views are one thing, but then there's also like professional considerations that they don't really see.
That's true lah.
So we try to take in what we can. Yeah. Of course, like the lived experience is important. The people who are living there, their opinions matter the most. But sometimes they don't see the professional considerations. So I guess it's important to see both sides of things.
Yeah, but like you said, at the end of the day, it's really not black and white. I don't think we can say that it's tokenistic or not.
Yeah.
It's probably a spectrum. Like certain things more tokenistic, certain things less. But you are very right in saying that professional considerations are important also. Yeah, I think if you ask me, that is the difference between a real estate approach and say a social science approach. Real estate approach, sometimes you have more of a technical consideration also. So I think that's interesting to retain that technicality inside. At the end of the day, planning real estate, a lot of it is a technical practice also. You have to put in the technical aspects of things.
Yep.
That one, coming from a social science background, I can appreciate the other side of things.
Oh.
Yeah. And I think, you talked about it pretty well. So you've been quite positive and I think that's great, right? I'm sure you had struggles What was some of the struggles? Or what was the greatest struggle you had, do you think?
Greatest struggles besides finding a job?
Besides finding a job.
Okay,
three interviews only, don't so 夸张 lah.
I feel like I didn't expect it will take so long because we start applying for jobs like since last year, since November, and then like the amount of replies you get is really kind of like sad.
Okay.
You apply for even though I said I have only 3 interviews, I applied for like what, 40, 50 jobs?
That's quite jialat.
Yeah, I know the numbers didn't sound that scary before, but
But it's a lot lah. You apply a lot lah.
yeah, but I feel like it's also a bit of the peer pressure, right? You see everyone like, they already start working, then you start feeling like shit, like you haven't even started yet. Then,
Okay. So do you think that's the greatest struggle lah?
Yeah, I would say
during
so.
But during the 4 years itself?
During the 4 years, I guess some projects one of the greatest struggles for me personally is when you don't get to pick your own group mates for group projects.
Okay.
Because especially in real estate, you kind of get like a very wide variety of personalities, right? Like I said, sometimes you get those people that don't do any work. For me, most of my projects, I did kind of manage to group with my friends. But I had friends that said like, because we had like exchange and stuff like that. So you don't always get to, everything in the sweet spot with your favorite friends. So sometimes you have to mingle with new people. And then that's when like you start to face like, time bombs, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So can you recount one experience that something went wrong in terms of your group work? Like what was the worst thing that happened?
Okay, this isn't my personal experience, but when I was overseas on an exchange, so my friend had to take this module, and then like it was only 2 of them in a group of 5, 6. So the others were all like, because they couldn't find a group that could meet the minimum number, so they formed a group together. And then all of them didn't do work, so the 2 of them had to do the entire project by themselves. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is when they try to make it such that they did do their own part. So they copy paste the word that was already there, and then they said like, oh, I did this, I wrote this. And then lucky my friend checked who wrote what, and then stuff like that. But you don't want to do that in a group project. It's like you're scrutinizing every part of it, and then it's very taxing. And then it was just a chore.
Extra work, extra emotional labor also.
Exactly.
Okay lah, fair lah. But yeah, I know it's terrible to see these kind of things, but I guess it happens everywhere. Sadly.
Yeah, it does.
It is what it is lah. Okay, if you were to summarize just in like maybe a few keywords lah, what skills or perspectives does a real estate degree give?
What
skills or perspectives? Like just in keywords lah. Maybe for you lah personally, what do you think it has given you?
I would say maybe you start to see the city in a different manner. You start to see the plannings behind the scenes, and you start to see the numbers behind the scenes. How profitable building a certain type of building can be, and why all the buildings are built in a certain way. And then you understand these numbers better. And then as like sometimes you think like, why is the city so monotonous? Everything is like the same thing. But then when you start to study real estate, then you kind of like understand it better lah.
You appreciate that actually there's some nuance in there.
For sure.
That's quite interesting. Actually, I never thought about it like that. I mean, I also study cities, right? And I think that's actually a really poetic way of putting it.
Yeah, I think similar to geography is like when you go to other countries, you start to notice more about the different buildings and how it differs as compared to real estate. Maybe for geography, it's a bit more broad. You start to see, maybe you see like the people, how they act and everything. But for real estate, you see the building specifically. Why is it so worn out? Why is it not maintained? Stuff like this. Then you start to appreciate Singapore better. All our HDB, as old as they are, they have like, a routine maintenance, stuff like this. As compared to, you go to any other country, you see so many buildings that are like dilapidated and like homeless people all around, and
that's true lah. Because like even real estate, actually there's like another part of real estate is like asset management and all that kind of stuff also, right? I think these are all things that are really interesting actually. So very interesting. I guess hopefully people who are interested in real estate can consider that there is quite a variety of skills and perspectives lah.
Even for people that are not interested in real estate, I would say it has a lot of things to offer.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, people who are say studying in NUS can also take real estate courses, right? As like unrestricted electives, or even like some of the minors, they have real estate courses, right? I believe so. Yeah, that's great. Okay, recently, right? Because real estate has been always under architecture, right? Yeah, architecture and like
School of Design and Environment.
Yeah, School of Design and Environment, SDE, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Recently, it was moved under business school, right? Do you have any idea why? What was the rationale behind that?
I think it just made more sense, honestly, because as much as we were under School of Design Environment, there wasn't much designing and environment things to do.
More of like business stuff, finance.
It was more of business stuff all along, and the facilities in SDU were always reserved for the Archi students. So like studios, what use do we have for studios? We don't really do all the D&T stuff. So it was always
D&T.
Yeah, for real.
Fair.
Yeah.
It's a very Singaporean thing.
The only thing we do is like maybe we use the study rooms.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So were you part of that move at all? Or?
I was. So I was in my third year.
So you actually experienced 2 years of this?
Yeah, I experienced 2 years of
Tell me about it. So after moving to business school, your shift campus also. How was it like? What's the difference?
It's not the best thing to say. But I feel like we were kind of like the unwanted kid in School of Business. In business school. Because in SD, at least we had like decent facilities, I would say. Maybe the seminar rooms. They were all not bad. But then in business school, for NUS especially, you kind of like the poster child is the BIS one, right? The Mokhtar Rayadi building.
Yeah.
So that one is like very glassy, very glossy.
Yeah.
But all our classes are not held there. It's all held in BIS 2, which is like the old dilapidated building. And then like other facilities run down just a little. They don't have charging ports everywhere. That's one. So for me, my laptop is like passed down by my brother. So it's like 8 years old now. So it has to be plugged in all the time. Then when you have like old facilities that don't have like charging ports accessible, then it becomes a problem lah. And then like the tables maybe like a bit wonky, stuff like that. They don't really show you this in the open house, ma. They always show you like, you see this one.
You know why you take note of all this, right? Because you are a real estate student.
maybe.
That's why you take note of all this. No, but it's true lah. I think these things matter also lah, right? Like to feel. It's quite interesting because one of my questions I wanted to ask you, right, was do real estate students experience imposter syndrome, right? Being neither architecture nor business, so to speak. So you already said something about that. So okay, other than facilities wise, are there any other say identity crisis or whatever you call it?
I think
moving there.
Maybe a lot of us would probably identify as business rejects, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think ideally a better course for real estate would be business, because like a lot of things we do cover in the course is very businessy. But then like what's more special about real estate is that everything is more tied down to the real estate side of
contextual lah. Yeah.
So maybe in business law you study more like contractual law, but for us we study like real estate specific stuff.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think you all should see yourself as business rejects at all.
We shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I would say like some of us do.
Okay.
Ideally, in this ideal scenario, maybe some of us would prefer to join business. Maybe it's because it's more prestigious. And as you said, like it's the first amount of like people, the most amount of graduate students come from business school.
Then curriculum wise, you joined in your third year. Did you have to change your curriculum at all, or it was still the same curriculum?
More than the curriculum, I would say maybe the grading criteria changed a little.
How?
I would say it became more participatory. So there's a lot more like class participation. And sometimes it's made in a very not nice way lah.
I see.
Like the profs will like hold a board, then like when you say, then they'll check your name. Then it becomes too like.
Actually, why do they do that?
And then like the worst part is when people say the same thing. Then like repeat what people say. And then like it becomes so meaningless.
Yeah, that's not great lah.
It's really not.
Yeah. So but then new students, they have to do like a new core curriculum, is it?
Oh, it's entirely different. Actually, I'm not too sure about the new system. Even for like 2 years down our batch, they have a different like general module.
So it's really completely different.
It's really different already.
Okay, because I took a quick look at the website and then I saw all the courses were completely different.
Like especially for year one, I think they took down the real estate mods and then they combined it with the business mods. So you will be taking the mods with business students. And then I think they also raised the entry bar. So everything becomes more slightly competitive.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay lah, so in a way you 赚到啊.
I think so, yeah.
Really what? As in, I think at the end of the day, it seems to me that you are relatively proud of your degree. More importantly, I think you know what you took away from the 4 years of your education. That's great, honestly. I think that's a very rare thing to do. So it doesn't matter you business or science or computer science, whatever. As long as you know your value, you know how to articulate your value, I think that's more important. Yeah, seriously. What tips will you give to someone who is considering real estate?
What tips will I give?
Yeah.
I guess you have to open your mind when you come into the course. Don't be too rigid. Be flexible. Because you're not gonna get everything that you want, right? So you just go into it and then like you slowly develop. Maybe you'll find something you like. Maybe something originally you think you liked, you might not like anymore. So just go into the course with an open mind, and then you can. For me personally, I think of the degree as more of a stepping stone in a sense where it connects you to the working world, right? Because without the degree, you're paid less and everything, and then what the degree offers you is connections, right? And even the school itself, it provides you opportunities into the working world in a broader sense. So you don't have to think of it as, I have to be passionate about real estate by the time I graduate or something. Maybe you can find your passion when you enter the working world, because the job will differ from what you learn in school. So maybe you don't like what you learn in school, but when you find the job, then maybe you start liking the job more. Maybe it's about the people you work with, and then
No, but really, really quite mature, the response. And I'm very happy for you if you genuinely feel like that, because I think it just shows that you are ready for the working world, I think. No, genuinely, because you are right in saying that when you go into the working world, a lot of times what you learn in your degree, right, is not going to be that relevant anymore.
Exactly.
It gives you a stepping stone, it gives you a starting point. But if you can't change your mindset to gear you up for the working world, right, then you're always going to struggle. Because it's like, you will say things like, but I never learned this, then why am I doing this? I mean, these kind of things, to employers, they'll be like, this guy, Yeah. So genuinely, I congratulate you. I think you have made your 4 years useful, and hopefully more people join real estate. Now that it's under business, I think the response will be better, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, so hopefully.
I guess one more tip would be, because when you're NUS undergraduate, especially under bachelors, you have like unrestricted electives. So those kind of electives, make better use of it, I guess. For me, I took modules in geography because I had a minor in urban studies. It was more inclined to what I liked. So actually, some of my favorite mods actually lean in this basket of minor, which is like outside of my course, my school. So think carefully about maybe some other interests that you like. Maybe it could be psychology, like stuff that are totally different from your degree. And then like sometimes you might not want to go into the degree because like it's not as lucrative. Maybe it's not as prospectable. So use these unrestricted electives properly. Don't kind of like just throw it away, I would say. Yeah.
I think your advice really very good. You want to be co-host on UV party? I think we are looking for co-hosts. I think you're not bad. No, but okay, jokes aside, I think that was really very mature. Thank you very much, Gibson. We always appreciate you, as always. And please like, share, and subscribe. Help us to grow our channel so that we can reach more people. We can get more people like Gibson to come here today and spill some tea and share some truths. Thank you.